Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Euroman Movie Report, the show where I talk about a movie I have recently watched at my local multiplex. This week I'm going to talk about Star Wars The Last Jedi. Star Wars The Last Jedi is of course the sequel to Star Wars The Force Awakens, and this movie here is of course referred to besides being called Star Wars The Last Jedi, Episode 8, and it's the second part in the new Star Wars trilogy. In The Force Awakens, we were reintroduced to the galaxy far, far away, where we once again met one of our old friends, Chewbacca, Han Solo, played by Harrison Ford, Princess Leia, now General Leia, played by the now late Carrie Fisher. And we were introduced to some new characters like Rey, the female scavenger from a planet in the Star Wars galaxy called Jakku, and Rey played by newcomer Daisy Ridley. We also met this guy, Finn, played by British actor, mostly known for Attack the Block, John Boyega. And Finn was this stormtrooper in this new force in the galaxy, the First Order, an entity which had replaced the Galactic Empire. And you guys of course remember that in The Force Awakens, the end scene where, after having rediscovered the map to where Luke Skywalker was hiding, Luke Skywalker, of course, once again played by Mark Hamill, Rey travels there together with Chewbacca on the Millennium Falcon. And the end scene in The Force Awakens is that she hands him the old Skywalker lightsaber. And The Last Jedi, it picks up on that island called Arc-2, if I remember correctly. And Rey, she thinks very highly of the Luke Skywalker character, but as we have learned from the trailers, Luke Skywalker have lost faith in the Jedi Order. And the beginning of the film is that we have Rey trying to convince Luke Skywalker to train her. Meanwhile, the First Order, they plot to expand their stranglehold on the Star Wars galaxy. And their leader, called Snoke, voiced by Andy Serkis, who we also have know from the Lord of the Rings trilogy as Gollum, and as Caesar from the Planet of the Apes movies, the new Planet of the Apes movies. We are finally introduced to Snoke in real life, if we can call it that. He is indeed very tall, but what saddened me about the introduction to Snoke is that we aren't really told more about Snoke's background, that he's very tall, like the alien race, the Mun, who people additionally thought that Snoke belonged to, and he was this character Darth Plagueis. But but he, as I heard in other YouTube videos, he is something completely different. But what saddens me about that, they didn't explore more about who or what Snoke is in this movie. I had expected that, but they didn't. And another character who also returned as well was, of course, the character of General Hux, the guy who did that shouting speech in the other movie mentioned previously, The Force Awakens, and he's once again played by Domhnall Gleeson, Brendan Gleeson's son, if I remember correctly. And he takes a much more prominent role in this movie than he did in The Force Awakens. And we, of course, once again have Adam Driver as Kylo Ren. And yeah, in general, Last Jedi, it does resemble The Empire Strikes Back in some ways. Like we have that the rebellion is at its lowest, and there's even, of course, we've seen in the trailer, a scene with Imperial or First Order walkers attacking a rebellion or resistance base. But that said, it's the characters are much more deep in The Last Jedi than they ever were in other Star Wars movies, the ones created by George Lucas. And yeah, it really has some good themes, like the scene where Finn travels together with that other character. I don't remember her name. She was a mechanic, Rose, played by Kelly Marie Tran. They travel to that planet where they see all these rich people and how they exploit the conflict between the resistance. We learn that how these rich people have gotten rich by exploiting the conflict between the First Order and the Resistance, and how the poor people on that planet are kept as slaves, and so on and so on. Such deep stories weren't explored in the George Lucas Star Wars films, so it was very refreshing to have such stuff introduced into the Star Wars galaxy, in my opinion. So yeah, but the acting in general, we can say that Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker, he seemed a bit, but maybe it was just the way he was supposed to portray his character. Carrie Fisher, yeah, it was sadly the last time we're gonna supposedly see Carrie Fisher in the Star Wars universe. I had heard that they had filmed some additional scenes, which maybe is going to be used in Star Wars Episode 9, because of course you people know that Carrie Fisher, she passed away. It was a year ago this month, but that hasn't been confirmed yet that they are gonna use some additional scenes for the next movie. But yeah, Adam Driver, we learn some stuff more about him, about his character, of course, Kylo Ren, and how he had his falling out with Luke Skywalker. And Daisy Ridley, yeah, she was okay. She isn't good. She still isn't good, but she was okay in my opinion. And John Boyega, he, yeah, he's okay too, but yeah, in my opinion, now we have had his character in 2 films, and he's evolving a bit from The Force Awakens to The Last Jedi, and I'm sure that we'll get completely used to him in the 3rd film. And Oscar Isaacs once again, of course, returns as Poe Dameron, and he, yeah, maybe it's me, I'm just getting old, but all these new characters like Finn and Poe and Rey, it's, yeah, it takes some time to get used to them. And Andy Serkis, as I mentioned earlier, his motion capture work as Snoke, it's good as well. But the voice as Snoke, it's very reminiscent of Caesar and the Planet of the Apes, and that's maybe it's just me, but that ruined it a bit. And yeah, as I mentioned also as well, Donald Gleason as General Hux, his role is much more prominent, but he does an okay job as well. And we of course had Laura Dern as one of the Resistance Admirals. Her role, and spoiler alert, it isn't very long, but yeah, she was okay as well. And Benicio del Toro as this, yeah, Han Solo-esque character. We didn't see if he died later, late in the film, but yeah, it was fun to see him in a Star Wars movie. And who else is that? Yeah, of course, Yoda, of course, he had a cameo late in the film. And yeah, Frank Oz, he still knows how to speak as Yoda, but it was fun to hear him and see him in a Star Wars movie once again. Yeah, what else is there to talk about acting wise? Yeah, okay acting, okay directing by Ryan Johnson, and the story wise it was somewhat okay. As I said, it's better than The Force Awakens in my opinion, but it's still missing something. So let's hope that Episode 9 will help bring the new Star Wars trilogy a step up from The Last Jedi. So all in all, this is a good film. In many ways it is, and in other ways it isn't, like I have talked about earlier in this video. But if I'm gonna rate this film, I will give it, 3.5 out of 5 stars. And of course next year we will be getting another anthology movie, the much discussed Han Solo film. But this is the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and if you liked my movie talk / movie review, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to watch my previous reviews / movie talks, you can click a link in the description. But I will return next week with another movie talk / movie review. Until then, have a pleasant weekend, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.